Dan, you may not win the lottery, but if you listen carefully for the next 97 seconds, you might win some money in Vegas betting on the football games. All right. You kind of like all the underdogs, but you're alone. All the money in Vegas I've read, and most of the experts are picking the favorites. Here's a couple reasons why you shouldn't in each game. Kansas City, hottest team in the league, right? 10-game run. You know who they've beaten with a winning record, Dan? Steelers and Broncos. Broncos, because Peyton was injured in that game. Steelers barely have a winning record. They've beaten the worst teams in the league, whereas Houston has beaten both the Bengals and the Jets. Schedule, Dan, the Chiefs, Paper Tiger. What do you think? Okay, let's move on. Big Ben, great playoff quarterback. Can't bet against him, right?
Yes.
1-3 in wildcard games. Hasn't won a playoff game since they lost to the Packers in the Super Bowl in 2010. He's actually been a very cold postseason quarterback. I think there's some myth around Big Ben's postseason prowess. Vikings, your team, your Minnesota Vikings. Last game, Vikings beat the Packers. Teddy had 99 yards passing. They are built to win without the passing game. What's going to happen on Sunday? Freezing cold, no passing. And by the way, when they got blown out by the Seahawks, they had 4 defensive starters missing. So maybe they show up a little better there.
Okay.
Finally, who's your underdog? I don't know who the underdog is in Redskins-Packers. The line keeps flip-flopping. But let's say that you favor the Redskins. The problem, the Redskins played only 3 teams with winning records this season and lost those 3 games by almost 60 points. Redskins haven't beaten anybody. And historically, teams that go from losing records to the playoffs generally don't do well. The Redskins historically don't do well. But we had an impassioned user who emailed you and me last night after we talked about them and said, don't worry about history with the Redskins. It's a different team, a different clubhouse. But anyway, all the dogs seem like decent bets this weekend. That's all I'm saying, Dan.
That's against the grain. Thank you, McLovin. Well done.